Hey there, folks, and it's me, the Matrix Refugee, with another catch-up vlog. That seems to be the order of the day. I've been trying to do these every day, but it seems to fall out that they wind up doing it. Yeah, they wind up getting posted every other day. Well, as long as I'm posting something, I suppose that counts. But uh, yesterday was a busy day. I had to go shopping for birdseed, both our little feathered friends. Had to go to Market Basket to get Oz's cockatiel seed, and he refuses to eat anything but Market Basket bird seed. It's like, that seems to be his favorite. Well, maybe not anything but if we try to give him a seed mix that's anything besides the kind that you get at Market Basket, he looks at it kind of like, what is this? And then looks at me like, you're not going to make me eat this, are you? So when we had the Market Basket uprising strike / boycott last summer, and we were not shopping at Market Basket, I had to buy Oz's birdseed somewhere else, and he was not happy. So I had to have a little talk with him and say, come on, this is good birdseed. You gotta eat something. I won't say he's a picky eater. He just knows what he likes. You know? I mean, he'll eat fruit and nuts if you put little pieces, on the edge of the metal lip around the bottom of his bird cage. But when it comes to birdseed, nothing but Market Basket birdseed. Anyway, so I had to get that, and I had to get little, what they call bird berries. They're a mix of hulled birdseed and little bits of fruit for our little parakeet, or as I call it, his cute fruit, to keep him cute. He has like the little parakeet has a kind of mixed feeling about his cute fruit. It's like he'll eat it, but sometimes he'll fling it on the floor first, and then goes around and around the roots around the bottom and picks it up later. Well, I guess he gets it when he was ready for it. So that meant having to walk a little ways in one direction, because I also had to check my checking account at the bank. I don't have online checking service. I'm just a little leery of the security involved. So, plus, as I said to the very nice bank teller that offered to set me up for it, I said, yeah, but then I don't get to have a nice walk and come see you nice folks here, which she found kind of charming, and oh, that's sweet of you. And I was like, well, they're nice people at our bank, so yeah. Anyway, so I walked up that way, and then walked all the way up to the pet store the other way, up Main Street, which was a nice walk. It started out, it was kind of a murky day, but then it cleared up a bit, so it was not such a bad walk. Poked around the pet store, said hello to their parakeets, or Flurry's relatives, as I call them. Some of them were yellow parakeets, like our little guy. Most of them were little blue ones, which were cute to talk to. Although there was one that was kind of giving me the "take me home" look. Tempting, but no, we got 2 birds and we got enough space for them. Besides, if we had more than one parakeet, they'd be wanting to stay in the same cage together, and they wouldn't be playing with us quite as much. So that's the downside of having more than one parakeet in the cage. They're less apt to make friends with the humans, because they got each other. So they tune into each other and go away, humans. Or at least that's been my mother's experience with having more than one bird, if I remember correctly. Anyway, moving right along. So, I actually felt ambitious, and I started writing out sections of my Dunwich Dunwich. Yeah, I gotta break myself of the the non-New England pronunciation of Dunwich. It's like everywhere else they pronounce it Dunwich, and that doesn't seem right, because I mean, okay, we've got a town in Massachusetts called, it looks like Greenwich, but it's pronounced Greenwich. So I'm assuming if we had a Dunwich, it would be pronounced that way. So anyway, yes, New England has some towns with some strangely pronounced names. They look like they should be pronounced one way, but no, it looks like Gloucester, but it's pronounced Gloucester. Or it looks like Worcester, but it's pronounced like Worcester. And don't get me started on Athol. Nobody knows how to pronounce that. Well, at least if they're not from around here. Anyway. I started writing the story longhand because I won't say I was getting stuck trying to type it. But something was telling me, okay, I would just stare at the keyboard and just be kind of... Oof. So, I took it into my head the other night, let's write this. It's been a while since I actually wrote something longhand in a journal. So that's what I've been doing. I've been writing it longhand in a journal, and it's just flowing onto the page like water in the Miskatonic River. So, I'm liking the female main character. I just have to come up with a name for her. It's like, otherwise she's gonna wind up being, the nameless Lovecraftian story narrator. Which may not necessarily be a bad thing. Although I kind of have a framing device set up for this, and I might need to come up with a name for her, because the framing device involves people stopping at a gas station near Dunwich and meeting this mysterious lady and getting her life story from her. Quite unintentionally, but just, they get talking about local folklore, and she's like, oh, I've lived in Dunwich for a while. I could tell you a few stories. So, maybe I'll just leave her nameless, because, sometimes you don't know the name of your gas station attendant, even if you chat with them a while, Sometimes it's just one of those things, so. I'm liking her as a character. I mean, she's a little different from, the plucky heroine that, seems to be popular these days. I mean, she has a certain amount of pluck to her, but she also likes reading her romance stories, so she's a plucky girly girl, I guess, We need plucky girly girls. We need interesting women characters, It's like, I hate to say the strong female character gets a little bit tiresome, but it's like, when you get the people that think that means, butt-kicking heroine with a gun in either hand. Let's have some interesting characters. Let's have some, warm, wonderful mom characters, and let's have some, I see nothing wrong in writing, say, the distressed damsel character, as long as she's an interesting distressed damsel. As long as, there's a reason why she's in distress, and, it's a reasonable amount if she's in over her head, and maybe she's, maybe she can find her way out of it. Maybe she just needs a little help with that, that one last tug to get out, So. But I'm having fun writing her. It's like, she's interesting. Right now she's about 14, 15 years old, and, well, at least in the section that I'm writing right now. I mean, this is the extended narrative / flashback section of the story, and, talking about when she was younger and whatnot, and how she came to Dunwich, and got to know the strange things going on, and, hearing the strange noises in the hills, and, she's I don't want to let out too much, but it's like, asking the people that live in Dunwich, why do we have these funny noises in the hills? And some of them are like, you don't want to know. And others are like, oh, that's Wizard Whiteley and his weird doings. Which leads her to try and figure out who Wizard Whiteley is and why he's up to strange things in the hills, so. Anyway. So that's... I haven't got up to the part where things start taking a romantical turn, but we're getting there, I'm not saying it's a slow story, but like with a lot of Lovecraft stories, it's got quite a bit of build-up, but I think the payoff's going to be interesting. So, anyway. So that's been occupying my time. Also, I finished reading Neil Gaiman's short story collection, Trigger Warnings, which is absolutely awesome. I mean, the stories are a little shorter than what he often usually puts into his stuff, but he's been busy with different projects. He's been talking about writing a sequel novel to American Gods. It's going to be different, apparently, from Anansi Boys, which was not so much a sequel as it was set in the same universe. So, Side quill, something like that. Anyway, um, so he's been working. He's talked about working on that. Plus, he's also been involved in trying to get the American Gods TV show up and running, because that's had a few production or pre-production glitches. So, um, apparently for whatever reason, HBO dropped it, and it looks like either last I heard, Showtime or AMC was going to pick it up. So we'll see where that goes. It'd be nice if AMC picked it up. I mean, they got the Walking Dead. They probably could stand to have another, you know, another odd fantasy type story series in their, on their roster. So see where that goes. So, but there was, I think my favorite piece in the collection was one. A story told in the form of answers to a questionnaire. The title of it was, I believe, was Orange. And that was rather strange. It was, there's a lot of what doesn't get told. Because it is in the form of answers to a questionnaire, and we don't actually get the questionnaires. That gets interesting. Also, A Calendar of Tales was a lot of fun. That was one. I'd been meaning to read it when it was posted online, and I think I still have the link for it somewhere. But that one had an interesting gimmick to it. He was asking people for prompts for various months of the year because he was writing a calendar of tales, and he thought he'd go with some prompts. And he, was asking people on Twitter to post some ideas. And I wanted to take part in it, but I missed the deadline for it by a half hour. Oh well. But that was interesting, and I have the prop list kicking around. I might do my own version of the Calendar of Tales. We'll see. So, anyway, that and Black Dog, which was the final selection in the book, and that is another follow-up to American Gods, following Shadow's travels in the British Isles. He was in Scotland in one story that was a follow-up. And now he's in Derbyshire, I believe it was supposed to be. And that was a very interesting story, and also had a character dealing with depression and self-harm. Okay. Oh no, it's trigger warning. Yes. Anyway. Which was a little... Oh boy. But he handled it... This is Neil Gaiman. He's going to handle the dark stuff that people, find themselves dealing with in life. He's going to handle it sensitively, and with understanding, and with compassion. And this was, everything I'd want to see in a story dealing with depression, and how depression can be a black dog gnawing on you, and other black dogs that might be lurking around in the locality. Because there's a lot of, I won't say a lot, but in my understanding in English folklore, there's quite a few stories involving black dogs. There can be death omens, who knows, but they might be Odin's hound dogs. They lurk out there. It's like, what are they, Or are they simply another version of whatever it is that's outside the ring of fire, the ring of light cast by the campfire way back in, the old times when we were still, little hominids trying to figure out, where do we fit in this big scary world, How do we survive, We come up with explanations for the spooky stuff that's out there, things to warn each other about, around the campfire, or just plain scary stories to, give us the cold chills up and down the spine, So, all in all, it was an interesting, solid collection, and, I highly recommend it. Like I said, the stories might be a little shorter, say, than they were in his previous collection, Fragile Things, but, they're Neil Gaiman stories. They're fun little bits of, fear and wonder. So, finished reading that last night, early this morning, and today was a work day. Yeah, today was a work day, so I might be a little tired, and that might be why my tongue is stumbling a bit, because I might still be a little tired from work, because I wouldn't say it was a busy day, but because it seemed like a lot of people were out enjoying the fresh air and the fine weather that we had today. In fact, my window is open, so if you're hearing traffic noises and bird song, that's why. But, excuse me. But, you know, it was a pretty good day at work, you know. All in all, it went a little slower than I wished it had, because, you know, sometimes when it's quiet, it gets to be a little too slow, and then you're, where are people, you know? I was going to say you wind up standing there staring at each other, but it does get a little slow when it's like that. It does get a little tedious, so anyway. So that was work, and came home and put my feet up and went back to reading another collection of short stories by Uncle Stephen. This time, I believe the title of it is Just After Sunset. Something involving sunset. That was the large print book that I was wittering about the other day. But that's, again, interesting stories. I'm on the second one in the collection, which deals with a woman getting away from it all in the Florida Keys at the cottage that belongs to her father, and things might not be quite what they should be in paradise. So, if this is a first for me, because I honestly have not read any of Stephen King's stories that are set in Florida, and he's doing a good job making Florida seem as scary as New England. Because, you know, from all the glowing accounts that I've had of Florida from people, well, except for that one guy that said, it's crazy down there, they have 3 murders a week. Which was a little off-putting, and between that and the weather, I don't do well with hot, humid weather. I don't do good with tropical weather. Bring on the New England autumn, but I'm fine. So sometimes it seems like our New England summers can be just as tropical as Florida the rest of the time, so I don't get why people are so driven to flee down to Florida. It's like, okay, yeah, but it's like that all year round. You don't get a break from it. And you also have alligators, and murderers, and tornadoes. Why would you want to go down there, you know? But, so... Okay, that's enough of a rant there. So, I do seem to be devouring books lately, which is not a bad thing. I wish I could be creating a little more, although I suppose, you know, the creativity centers are focused on the Dunwich romance, so I maybe should content myself with that, although the overachiever in me likes to have a few projects going at once, but maybe I'd need to tell the overachiever to, you know, just chill a bit, you know? Let's work on something and do a good job with it. So, and that's been my days for April 27th and April 28th. So I'll sign off here and get this out to you. Hope you all are having a good day, and hope you enjoy listening to my wittering.